I wasn't even supposed to be home that day. The streets were clear, traffic light enough to shave minutes off my drive. Most people would call that luck. I don't call it luck anymore. I call it a warning. The moment I opened the door, laughter carried down the hallway. Familiar voices. My parents, my brothers, and hers. My sister-in-law. My brother's wife. The same woman who used to greet me with kisses on the cheek at family dinners, pretending warmth, pretending loyalty. I followed the sound, step by step, until I reached my bedroom. My door was wide open. A ladder stood in the center. Drop cloths stretched across the floor. And there she was, roller in hand, dripping paint onto the walls I had worked for. She spun around, startled for an instant before plastering on a smile far too quick, far too polished. "We're freshening up before we move in," she said, voice sugar-sweet. My brother leaned against the wall, casual as if it was already his. Behind them, my parents chuckled, treating it like some harmless family game. My room. My house. My money. To them, it was entertainment. Something inside me split. These were people I trusted. My brother, the kid I once defended on the playground, the man I had lent money to when he couldn't keep the lights on. My parents, the people I believed would never turn against me. And her, the wife who always whispered I was family, promising she'd treat my home as if it were her own. I believed every word. That was my mistake. The warnings had been there all along. Mail disappearing. Her sly remarks about me wasting space, rattling around in a house too big for one person. My brother showing contractors through under the excuse of just giving advice. Then the night I found the papers left out on my counter, property transfer forms, unsigned but ready, my parents' names neatly listed as witnesses. They weren't just painting over my walls. They were planning to erase me from them completely. I didn't shout. I didn't demand answers. Rage only feeds betrayal. I smiled, nodded, and left them to their laughter. Silence is sharper. Silence starves it. That night, I went to a lawyer. I gathered every deed, every receipt, every bank statement tied to the house. I pulled up the record of the loan my brother never repaid. I tracked the renovations they had billed to my accounts under my name. Fraud. Theft. Conspiracy. One piece at a time, I stacked the evidence until it was undeniable. Then I made my move. I invited my parents to dinner. Naturally, my brother and his wife came too. They walked in relaxed, laughing, certain they had already won. What they didn't know was that while they sat at my table, police were combing through their home across town, uncovering forged signatures, fraudulent invoices, and the emails his wife had so carelessly sent to herself. After dessert, a knock came at the door. An officer stepped inside, steady and professional. "Sir, may we have a word?" I leaned back. My parents' faces drained of color. My brother froze. His wife blinked, confused. They thought it was me under suspicion. That's the irony of betrayal. Traders never expect the trap to close on them. Then the officers turned toward them. Names were read aloud. Charges spelled out. Fraud, collusion, conspiracy. My mother's voice cracked. "Why are they here for us?" I didn't flinch. "Because you tried to erase me from my own life." My brother stuttered. His wife cried, denied, begged. My father couldn't meet my eyes. One by one, they were led away in cuffs. The silence that followed belonged to me. The house belonged to me again. I didn't celebrate. Revenge isn't explosions and fireworks. It's quiet. It's watching the same hands that once reached for your trust being bound in steel. They mistook silence for weakness. They mistook trust for naivety. But I learned what they never understood. Betrayal isn't answered with heartbreak. It's answered with strategy. Now, when I walk past the freshly painted walls of my bedroom, I smile. Not at the color. At the choice. Because this time, the choice was mine, and mine alone.